Counting down 3, 2, 1. I'm falling in the burning sun.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are still getting set a little bit over here, technically, but thank you all for showing up. Just waiting for Lukas to get into live chess, and then we'll get started. Thank you, Eccentric Horse. When I get to 50 followers, I'll be able to give out VIP badges, which I'm excited about. We're currently at 45, so that's the last requirement we have for affiliates. And the last thing we have to do to get VIPs. Thanks for the support. Yeah, talking about yourself in the third person is quite interesting in a conversation. And someone's trying to avoid trolling? Okay, we can handle that. Alright, Lukas is not in live chess right now, so trying to get a hold of him. Yep, I think I'm gonna go get a little bit of water, and I will be right back. The match should be 10 plus 5. We are having some slight communication difficulties with Lukas. It appears that Lukas has thought that the match was an hour later than it is. I am just trying to make sure I am not an idiot. Time zone conversions. It looks like I'm more of an idiot from Lukas. Well, this is interesting. It seems like your favorite patzer has made himself even more of an idiot. For you Europeans, the US changes their clocks twice a year, 1 hour, and that happened for us on Saturday. So, instead of us Americans being 5 hours behind the GMT, we are now 4 hours behind the GMT. So, we're going to be doing some warm-up games, I guess. Let me change my scene. I think that I will go the bug house mode here. Just to see what happens. I haven't tried out this layout yet, so we'll see how bug house goes, but we can do bug house for a little bit. Chess.com is being a little bit stupid, but yeah, me and Lukas moved the match start time forward a little bit. Can you challenge me in Atomic? Yes, you can, actually. I'll need to... Oh, shoot, I'm actually in a game for Bug House. So that'll have to wait a half second, but I just hope that this is looking... Oh, this is a horrible layout. Okay. This layout sucks. Okay, we have slightly better layout now, hopefully. Let me just adjust my cam size a little bit. Alright, I think this sounds good. I'll do a little bit more live action editing, I guess. I think it's a little bit too small.
And cat. Sit.
Okay. let's just play now. Alright. While we have been doing shenanigans, we are absolutely sucking at Bug House. We'll see what happens. Alright, let's try to figure out how we don't get mated here. I am the worst the Bug House player. Oh, we won! How about that? Our partner checkmated. Freakishly. Alright. Eccentric Course, if you want to challenge me to a game of Atomic, I am going to head over to the variants menu. And I may try to mess with a little live action editing here. You guys can see a little bit of...
And count the raindrops.
Alright, live action editing is over. And I'll take up your challenge. I have not played Atomic in my life. But I get the gist of how this works. If you capture... The capture is made, all the pieces explode. Okay. I repeat that I have never played this in my life. And... we're about to see what happens. I think I'm winning material though, because regardless of if he captures or I capture, I win material. Kaboom. I could get used to this. Maybe not. Oh, this is probably not looking the best. Can I switch layouts, maybe? Yeah, probably not. Sorry for the low tech knowledge here. If only we had someone like Screws. Oh yeah, I also, I have a custom command for Screws, if he decides to show up. So that'll be interesting. Glamdring, thank you for the follow. Thank you for finally stopping by. We are now officially 4 followers from affiliate status. So let's see if we can hit that today. That'll be great. So Glamdring, the match against Lukas has been slightly postponed to 10 minutes from now. But I am currently playing Atomic, or other variants, with some people who want to challenge me. So Thank you for showing up, Glamjang. Thank you for following. If you want to challenge me to a variant that I know absolutely nothing about, you are more than welcome to, and you are more than welcome to crush me. Yeah, that's how Atomic goes. I can castle an Atomic? Oh, this is fancy. I think I can play Bishop A3. But yes, the man, the myth, the legend from the hashtag chat, Glamdring. Although I will say, I do have more channel points than you right now. I will hard flex that. And GG's, the centric. I had no idea what I was doing, and I still managed to win. Who knew? Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we still have 10 minutes before the match. If someone wants to send me a variance challenge, or maybe a regular chess challenge for a blitz game, that would be probably fine as we wait out Lukas. If not, maybe I could try a little bit of giveaway, which I have shown some promise in at times in giveaway chess. Ooh, we could play blindfold. Hello, Callum, right? Callum? Don't flag me, please, it's Callum. Hello. Thank you for stopping by, Callum. Yeah, we're gonna play a giveaway game right now. Essentially, he'll challenge me next week. Okay, you can do that. Yeah, the number of mixtures and variants is unbelievably large now, but not many of them are played. Okay, so Callum, the basic premise of giveaway chess is you want to give away all of your pieces as fast as possible. And captures are mandatory in giveaway. Yeah, it is anti-chess. It is anti-chess, except it's just on chess.com. Chess.com just calls it giveaway instead of anti-chess. Oh, you're playing VOD this week? Nice. Yeah, I have some stuff up my sleeve for Vlad when I go for him again, so I'm looking forward to that. Alright, so let's try to figure out how we can give away all of our pieces as fast as possible. Just a general premise for people who may not have played this before is you kind of want to damage the pawn structure, and then you can kind of play from there a little bit. Eccentric, I have stuff for Vlad that I think gives me a legitimate chance of winning a game against him out of the opening. I have some legit prep that I've spent hours on. Yes, Callum, if you are stalemated, you win. Yes, that is correct. Now let's hope Vlad hasn't prepped anything for you. I know that Vlad is gonna come after my Sicilian. That's just the way the world works. Vlad is gonna have a very big choice on how to take out my Sicilian, but we'll see what we can do. Also, we should be winning this game quite easily as we can just start giving away our pawns. And yes, you can promote to a king, which is freaky, but you can. And it's actually a little bit of theory in anti-chess, promoting to a king in endings because of its unique mobility compared to other pieces. 2 kings for white. Yeah. What is this land? We'll play one more. Glamdring, I also saw on the hashtag Discord that you hit 2,000 in 4-player recently, so congratulations to you on that. And Fisher is definitely rolling in his grave. But yeah, congratulations, Glamdring. That's an accomplishment. I don't have 2,000 in 4-player, so... And now you can just lose it all. Yeah. I actually find that if you actually have some semblance of rating, you can play. You can play with anybody. I've played with people over 2,200, even though I'm like 1,900, and I can still have a decent chance finishing top 2. So, you can play with anyone, Glenn. I'll just say that up front. You can play with anyone. Yeah, but that's how all of us climb up, to some extent. Let's think this through. We're going to let him capture on h1. We're going to play knight f3. Bishop takes an f3, knight a4, rook takes a4, king e2, bishop takes. h4. I think this is the correct move here. And yes, 4-player is hard, but if you learn strategy, it can become more manageable. Sometimes just playing for yourself is the best strategy. Getting greedy. Although calculation is absolutely terrible. I mean, you can basically only calculate in teams 4-player. That's the only time where you can ever calculate. And our opponent has resigned because we just started giving away pawns with c4, d3, e4, f3, and the game's over. Very nice. We're gonna head back to live chess. Not play Bug House, which would be unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, you guys chat amongst yourselves while I challenge Lukas again. Also, if you are watching and you are not a follower, please follow. It would be appreciated, and we are really, really close to getting affiliate. And then once I get affiliate, you guys can talk about all sorts of weird channel point redeems you want me to get, and We can have subs and bits and all that cool stuff. Alright, it is officially 5:30 p.m. GMT. We are going to challenge Lukas. Vlad, if you are still here, let's see how your student does. But this should be a lot of fun. And Lukas tells me on Discord that he is going to do some last-minute prep while panicking. So. He's also in the chat, I notice. So, Lukas has showed up. Panic prep always good. Yeah, I have prep, but I didn't panic. Which is the way I do it, so. We'll see how Lukas's panic prep goes. And while I'm talking about prep here for a second, it's obviously much easier to prepare against higher rated players because you just see many more games that they have in the same lines. Rook captures, rook d1, queen e7, and we'll go rook d8. And after a lot of moves stated, we should be better. And, as we predicted, Lukas exchanges, which isn't really a terrible thing for us. But now we have decision time as where do we want to put our pieces long term? I think we're going to go rook d to c8. The rook isn't super useful on the d file. C file is where it will find its purpose now. And the one thing that we do want to watch out is Lukas's pawn attack on the queen side, a4. And Glamdring, I do agree. I think the kind of the purpose of the ladder tournament was for the #chess community to get together and play chess together and learn together and to have a good time. And I think that the 10+5 is the most conducive to those things. And to be honest, I hate Blitz with increment, so that makes it also easier. Blitz with increment is just terrible, because the entire purpose of Blitz is to flag your opponent, basically. Yeah, I have never played a 3-2 match in any of the 3 months of the ladder, and I've only played 2 matches at 5-5, so. And I think Lukas is missing a tactic here. I think I can play pawn to d4, and it's a big problem for him. Because when rook takes, then I've just removed the defender of the knight, and if you move the knight, I take on c1. So it seems like we win material here by force. And our doubled rooks on the c file are already very nice. Also, so Cuoco, you played a Timmy G this week in the ladder, right? It's really nice to see you showing up, the man behind the operation, showing up to mess around a little bit with us nerds. And Lukas resigns. So the white prep that we have for Lukas is going to be some Grunfeld lines, which, let's see, is Lukas going to go for a Grunfeld line? Castles. Yep. And Lukas should play c5 here. Okay, he plays c6. So maybe this was some of his prep, but unfortunately for him, we have more prep than he does. Yeah, but so Cuoco, that's why you play. That's why we play. We play to get better. Okay, rook e8, rarer move from Lukas. The idea is to push e5. That's not really a concern for us at the moment. So we're just going to play our usual plan and go knight b2. Oh, that's nice, Glamdring. I think it's great that people are playing outside the ladder now. And that people are just getting together over chess and having a good time. And Lukas insists on e5. So let's see how he decides to engineer it. Yeah, 15 plus 10 is time consuming, and I don't typically play that long time control games, but it is really nice to just be able to sit back, drink some water, think about your moves, and actually really try to improve. So now the killer question is here, can we play e4? Because if we can pull off e4, that's very nice. e4, pawn, knight, knight, bishop, bishop, rook. Yeah, we can pull it off. But should we pull it off? Because that really opens up his bishop and the d file. I don't think that's the best idea. Yeah, 10 plus 0 being rapid, I agree with from chess.com because it just fits with that style of time control. 10 plus 0 is my favorite, personally. And I just really like playing at it. It doesn't take too long to do, and you can still learn and think while you're at it. Yeah, my rapid rating on Lichess is like 2260 right now from just playing 10 minutes. Which is incredible to me. So now it seems that the focus of the game has shifted from the center, which is now fairly stuck, to the queen side. And this tension between the d5 pawn and the c4 pawn. Who's going to be the first one to think that they can gain something from the exchange? Yeah, and Glamdring, I appreciate that, as I'm glad I haven't had to ban anyone from talking about moves during games. I mean, I feel kind of lucky that I haven't had to do that yet. But thank you. Are we playing all 3 games if it goes to 2-0? Odds are yes. That does remind me that I do need to update the score. as it is now not 0-0, but 1-0. I mean, it's up to Lukas. I'll offer him a rematch after 2 games. We'll see what happens. Rook A to D8. And Lukas begins to pile up on the center. I don't see any super evident tactics right now, but they'll be coming. Yeah, I think that situation that you're describing, Glamdring, is great. Like, people getting together. I know I've said this like 5 times already during the stream, but just getting together for the sake of chess. Alright, Lukas needs a plan. Plan is probably going to revolve c5 at some point, because that's the only pawn break that he has. But that plays into our hands because that helps us. Because we want to open the c file, because our rook is there. The other pawn break that I can imagine is him playing h6 g5. But that just seems so terrible to open up your king side like that when you already have the doubled f pawn. Ooh, spicy, spicy. Lukas is lining up his queen with my bishop on the long diagonal. And he has also removed his queen from the defense of the e5 square. So, knight e5 is now very strong. Our queen is not on the d file. And we have a lot of pressure on this c6 pawn, which is now pinned. Yeah, Vlad's position is stagnant, and he's very happy. Well, he's the top-rated guy in the tournament, and he's not lost any of his matches. But yeah, I would also encourage Glamdring to play up a little bit as well, because it makes for more exciting matches. I mean, you're 1700, and the people you're playing are not 1700. Again, a lot of pressure on Lucas's pawns. Pawn c6, e4 square. He could win my e5 pawn, but I'm not terribly concerned about that. And Sequoko, I do agree that Glamdring versus Zombie will be epic. And Zombie almost beat Vlad, yes. That is 100% the truth. Yeah, Vlad was in a must-win situation in the last couple of games. And he did it, and kudos to him, he's a great player. Probably b5 here from Lukas? No b5. Okay. Let me think about this one for a sec. And yes, Gokul did draw. Rook d5. Okay, the question is, do you take the b pawn or do you take the e pawn? I think you take the b pawn here, because rook d4 is not an option, and if rook a5, rook back to b4. And black loses the e4 pawn too. I'm now 2 pawns up, and the ending should be easily winning. And Lukas resigns, and Lukas wants a rematch. Alright, so it looks like we will have a game 3 after all. Oh boy. So let's just mix it up. Let's mix it up and play something totally random. I mean, this game doesn't really matter for the ladder tournament standings, and I hope it does, and it's not going to matter for rating, because this is unrated, but we're at 2-0 on Lukas. You played b4 in one of your games. Yeah, there's an old Bobby Fischer game that I might pull up at some point where Bobby Fischer played b4. Let me look that up on my second computer. Bobby Fischer 1 b4. The orangutan opening. also known as the Polish opening. Alright, I'm not finding the game at the moment, but we can mess with that later. And in the meantime, our Polish opening with a Birmingham Gambit, which is evidently what my move c5 was called, has resulted in a structure that's very odd. But if you had noticed one of those named after an animal openings, I'd obviously avoid it. Yeah, it's sometimes called the Polish, it's sometimes called the orangutan. I wonder what AChess officially called. AChess officially calls it the Polish opening. So you could say that. Eccentric, you didn't miss too much. There's a tactic in game 1 that I just won a piece and Lukas resigned. There was a tactic though, not just hanging something. Game 2, I just kind of ground him down, and that was just kind of it. And we're also talking about the Polish opening, 1b4. As Eccentric, I'll just kind of show you the game thus far, as Lukas played b4 here in game 3, and I just played c5 because why not, and we've reached this position right now. So, Eccentric, does that kind of catch you up on what we've been doing? No, I did not pre-move the Sicilian. That was an intentional troll, because Lukas trolled me with 1b4 because it's game 3 and it doesn't really matter. So we'll just troll him back and play the Birmingham Gambit, which is evidently what it's called. And that'll happen. And Sequoco, I think you should totally challenge Screws. But that's just my opinion. I think that would be the most enjoyable. Should have played the Bong Cloud. Oh, that's true. We should have played the Bong Cloud. That would have been premium entertainment right there. Playing the Bong Cloud. Premium entertainment. You'd unfollow if you saw Bong Cloud. Yeah, but Glamdring, you also just followed today, so it's not like you've been following for that long. But the double cannon fodder? I'm interested. What is the double cannon fodder? Is it where you push the pawns up and then start with all the pawns being advanced 2 squares, or is it something else? Hey, Kincha! We have your custom command that we can roll out again. But, hey Kincha, we're playing another match against Lukas. This is the last game. But yeah, your stream today was great, Kincha. I wasn't able to see the whole thing, but it was really nice, and I also won, so... But yeah, Kensha, you are growing extraordinarily fast on Twitch, and you're growing faster than 99% of people are. You're growing faster than really anyone I can remember in my year of being on Twitch, so I hope that makes you feel better. Or feel even better than you already are. Tell you what, Kensha, I understand why. One, you are a accessible strength of a chess player. You are not a Hikaru, you are not a Levi Rosman, you are a strength of player that people think that they can play, and that people think they can be competitive with. That helps your viewership numbers, and that's why so many people are getting in the queues of your games. Two, you are, this is going to sound odd on Twitch, but you are good looking. You look very nice, and especially as Twitch is primarily male, that gets you viewership. I mean, that's just also the way it is. Three, you have a great personality, Kensha, and people like to be around people with great personalities. You're clever, you're witty, you're funny. So those three things, combination with chess being exploding on Twitch and things like that in general, and you're also really kind of lucky that a bunch of active people like myself, like Mick, like Vlad, also found you very fast. People who will watch your streams, stream in and stream out. But yeah. Oh yeah, Kinche, you could join the ladder on HashtagChess. I don't know how much HashtagChess you watch, but if you don't watch that much, it's two ladies from South Africa, Rebecca and Jessie. They've been at it for over a year. They do great content. A bunch of their loyal viewers are playing in a little tournament right now. I think you should join. I think it would be fun. You'll get to play Vlad. You'll get to play me, you'll get to play Goku, and get to know a bunch of other nice people. So, Kensha? No, to be honest, Kensha, that feels like a bad excuse. Kinsha, everybody doesn't feel really good. I wasn't feeling really good yesterday, but I showed up today, and I'm doing pretty well. Queen E8 here, I think, for Lukas. And, like, hey, more people are watching the ladder tournament than the candidates right now. I will say that. And Lukas has bishop f7, but who cares? But yeah, Kinch, I would really strongly encourage you to get in the tournament. I mean, my word doesn't matter that much, but I think you should. Lukas has offered us a draw. I'm gonna say no draw. Oh, Lukas seems to have blundered upon. Oh well, his loss. Yeah, let me check. Kinsha, are you even in the #chess Discord? You are. Yep, you are. But yeah, you totally should. I mean, there's really no motivation not to, besides just being scared of Vlad, which I understand, because Vlad is scary, but... yeah, it seems like you are in yours, obviously, #Vlad, Deanna, and Chosen One, so... yeah, vampires are very scary, eccentric. Vlad is terrifying. But I can always just spam this emote, or at least as long as I still have a sub in your channel, Kincha. On a side note, since you're here, I had goulash for the first time in a couple years last week. So that was really nice. Yeah, Kincha, in America we call it goulash, spelled G-O-O-L-O-S-H, but yeah, I had that for the first time in a couple years, and it was quite tasty. We spell it, I think it's spelled like this, but I'm not quite sure. Goulash. No, you would, I think you're right, Kensha. I was looking it up, and I think it actually is spelled like you thought. I was wrong. And Lukas has resigned. We'll just message him real quick. Wishing him GG's. Yeah, thanks, Lucas, now that I see you in the chat. But yeah, Lucas, you want to hop in a voice chat or something? Maybe we could analyze these. Yeah, let me just turn off my music. Yeah, we'll look at what Sekwoko is saying, and yeah, this is obviously winning for black. But yeah, this h4 pawn is just going to get targeted by the bishop. The king is going to be able to walk in and munch on c2, and black will just have way too many passed pawns for white to deal with. Do you not hear me, Lucas? Or that's the problem. I can't hear you right now. Oh, that's because I have my headset plugged in. Right, I can hear you now, Lucas. Yeah, let's check out that first game.
I was thinking you wouldn't e5 right?
Yeah, to be honest, I had analyzed that line before I played my match against Dan. So I looked at your Smith Mora, and I knew that you played similar lines, so I was just gonna repeat basically all of my prep.
No bad choice.
Yeah, if I were you, I would have played something offbeat, like maybe going for like a closed Sicilian or something like that. But
Probably just
yeah, you played the opening really well, Lucas. I don't think you made any serious mistakes until at least move 15. Like your play was really top notch. I think it was complete theory through move 8. And then e5 is still a good move. Move 9. Queen e2 is thematic idea. Yeah, Queen e2, I guess, was good just to put the rook on d1 as fast as possible and stop me from pushing d5, because that's kind of black's idea of moving forward here. Yeah, that's pretty much what you do as white in the Smith Mora. Like I've played a bunch of games in this in Blitz and Rapid, and if white can just kind of hold a little bit of the space advantage, black will suffer for like 30 moves just trying to make small moves to trade pieces and gain a little bit of space.
quite.
Yeah, if white can keep the extra space, white is at least decent. Yeah, I think that's why the computer doesn't like 11 bishop g5, because you're trading off your bishop pair, and you're basically just letting me trade off pieces without another concession in space. And my queen is not badly placed on e7 either, because now I can get my rooks to the d file, which I think I did in pretty short order.
I was thinking of some.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting you to play that, and I would have played it if I were you, because it kind of tries to transition the game into a position where you could maybe have some attacking chances on the king side. But that kind of frame of mind change mid game is kind of hard to do, as you've basically been playing for space, and now you have to transition to playing for the attack.
Fine bishop.
Yeah, I like the idea. Maybe moving forward, if you had something like that in mind, maybe you could play h4, because kind of the same idea. You want to play h5 and maybe knight to g5, and that just seems like it exerts a lot more pressure on my position than exchanging, which actually leaves my pawns doubled but very secure.
I may.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the computer thinks here, but it's at least an idea. And I found that personally, like, most of chess is just kind of your mindset. Like, I've had over the board games with very strong players where I'm worse, but I can kind of make it a fight by at least keeping a really aggressive or mindset. And I find that it really helps. And then you kind of just missed my little tactic with d4 on move 20. Yeah, I liked the idea behind rook d3 because the knight needs to be defended, but that just doesn't work tactically, unfortunately.
It. I did.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe you could have played the move queen to b2 to kind of try to hold everything, because that defends your b pawn, which is hanging, and defends the knight. But it's still not the greatest position for white here.
So it's.
Yeah, because I'll be able to push d4 eventually. My rooks on the c file are quite nice. I'll be able to play queen to g5, and I'll be the one attacking, and I'll be the one up a pawn, and I'll be the one up space. Yeah, but rook d3, d4, and you're just lost slightly faster. Yeah, so that was basically game one. Do you have anything else that you kind of wanted to talk about with the game, or kind of move on to game two?
See.
Okay. I guess we'll move on to game two. You played really well in game two. I was expecting Grunfeld from you based on what I saw, but I think you kind of improved the line based on what I had studied.
Here I did some. Not.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, my system is not the most aggressive in the opening, but you really played quite solidly and had a really viable position for a really long time, probably even deep into the ending.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really see any serious mistakes for you until really deep into the ending. Like, you played really well. I think you created a plan really nicely in the middle game. And I would say, like, for someone of your strength, that's really important. Is that you're thinking about long-term plan of pushing e5. And I think by playing that way, you were basically able to keep the balance for a really long time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, I have absolutely no complaints about your middle game play. If anything, you probably slightly outplayed me because me putting my pawn on e5 on move 20 wasn't the best strategic decision. And if anything, I'm actually a little bit worse. Um,
you're
yeah.
right.
Mhm. But yeah, I feel like the really interesting stuff starts to happen on move 24, kind of with the ending. I think I made a comment on the stream that I was kind of expecting pawn to b5 here in the ending. And I thought it would have been maybe really interesting if you would have played it because I don't really think I can win this position as you're basically liquidating your weakness on the queen side. And I don't have much to play for. But yeah, yeah, it's not the easiest move to see that it was supported from the rook or that it's even the best move positionally. But yeah, you played rook e6, which is not a bad move because
Yes, somehow.
yeah, that just didn't work out because yeah, it just makes your life a little bit harder because now I feel like I have something to play for in the ending because now you have pawn weaknesses and I can push b4 myself now that you didn't push b5.
Right. Taken it.
Yeah, I think I've heard that if you're in these single rook endings, rook activity is more important than basically anything else. Um, King f6, I thought, was also a reasonable move to play here because you're activating your king, and if I can't kick it out, you could even play King f6, g5, g4, and try to hold down some. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, it just wasn't much. Like, A takes before was just the mistake because now your pawns just become a little bit too weak and your pieces are just a little bit too passive to do really anything about it. Yeah. You probably could have made an attempt to play on in the ending and try to blockade the pawn with something, but I respected the resignation there because it would have been torture for a while for you.
I mean, faster than ever against thing.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess we could kind of move on to the last game if you wanted to.
AX pilot.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's the final game of the match and it's 2-0, so I mean, it doesn't really have a huge weight, so I thought I could just have a little bit of fun with the opening. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what you were doing as well with just playing B4.
I think. Oh, positive something.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the same exact idea behind C5, and I think I kind of enjoyed it. We just get an immediate unorthodox position, and we just have fun.
Balance.
Yeah, looking at the computer analysis here, it looks like there were a couple of dips in the middle game, but otherwise it was fairly balanced. And I mean, I'm not really gonna comment like if we're not making the greatest of moves in the opening because that really doesn't matter because we're not trying to make great moves in the opening here.
No,
Yeah. Yeah, but we do get a kind of a very interesting structure that I haven't really seen that much of, where you kind of have the 3 pawn chain and both of the bishops quite nice. And I do get a kind of a backwards D pawn, and I mean maybe you could again just try to play for extra space or maybe even a kingside attack. Yeah, I guess maybe one thing that you could have done is on move 11, instead of playing knight bd2, you could go knight c3. I mean, the computer doesn't love the move a ton, but at least to me it kind of makes sense. You want control over d5, maybe even playing knight to d5 at some point. Yeah. But you played knight bd2, which the computer likes for what reason, I don't know, but um, and I really liked the move a4, just kind of trying to punch back and open some files for your rooks.
and
Yeah, I think that's really great positional considerations there. And when I played b4, and now you get suddenly a nice square for your knight on c4. So. And I mean, like, even at this point coming into move 15, I would say if anyone's better, it's you, because you have a better pawn structure. If you could somehow open up your dark square to bishop, I think you have potential to maybe even be significantly better in this position. Yeah, or perhaps another idea that the computer is kind of recommending in one of the lines is to push f4, and you could maybe even get a lot of space in an attack. You'd have chances for e5. You have the idea that you mentioned, maybe rerouting the bishop to f4, maybe g5. Yeah, that's something that I would have been at least slightly concerned if I saw it, because if you play e5 here, I kind of have to react now. I mean, it is a pawn sacrifice, but my doubled pawns on the d file aren't that useful, and the computer is saying that my edge here is really quite small. I mean, you can go knight f3, you can go rook e1, bishop c1.
I maybe even have rooks.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think actually the top line that Stockfish is suggesting here, which is rook e1, queen d6, um, and then you'll be able to win back the pawn with by playing knight f3 and then knight takes. But yeah, but that was very difficult to kind of find that pawn sacrifice, not knowing that you would get it back.
Find it.
Yeah, I mean, even I wasn't really thinking about something like that until it just kind of popped into my head as maybe an idea to try to generate an attack for you, but
See. Should we see it?
yeah. But you took and then played rook e1, which is also kind of fine. I'm probably slightly better, but
You have a minute.
yeah, it's still a game. It seems like the computer's seeing a little bit of a win for me here on move 19 by taking on f3, but don't. Oh, this is actually clever. Bishop takes f3, g takes f3, rook to a6. And now I'm playing for the attack with rook g6. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then I finally saw the bishop takes an f3 idea a move later. Um, but it's not as great because now I don't have rook a6, as you can just take on e1. Take on e8.
Yeah. Of them beat.
Yeah. Yeah, so you exchanged all the rooks off the board, and it looks to be kind of a drawish position. I think you offered me a draw somewhere in here.
Yeah, that king F1 plate or somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. King F1 on move 28.
Yeah, you're slightly better, but should be a draw at correct play.
Yeah, I thought it was drawn too, but I just kind of wanted to play it on as kind of taking the draw I thought would be slightly boring. And I did think that I had the slightly better pawn structure, so maybe I had something to play for here.
Yeah, you're the one that has something to go on, so of course should.
Hmm.
It did go off that. I just hang the.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker to hang the f2 pawn, but it makes it a lot harder. Because now you give me a concrete majority to work with on the king side, and you kind of have to create something with either pushing the d pawn or maybe trying to get pressure on my a pawn.
And push on. Yeah. Maybe instead of f takes e6 and that d5 d4 could have been an idea.
Yeah, I think I actually like the idea of taking on passant there because, I mean, while I really agree with the idea of pushing the d pawn long term, I think that taking on passant slows my majority down slightly because now my pawn is a square further behind, but I don't think it makes a huge difference.
Quite objective. So it's just what the tricks.
Yeah. I think a king to f4 on move 36 is where you started to kind of go wrong because I kind of don't understand the point. Because if you go totally passive on the king side, I don't really think you stand a chance of holding. Maybe I think d4 was still an option. Um,
If h or to stop being get to.
yeah, and I know it's kind of a minor consideration right now, but the h1 square isn't the correct color for my bishop. So if you ended up maybe even sacrificing the h-pawn to lure my g-pawn onto the h-file, it could just be a positional draw because it just wouldn't be possible for me to make any progress.
Yeah, exactly. Annoying. Well, I see you having
But yeah, kind of the motivation behind my pushing h5 after king f4 is just cutting you off because I don't want your king to get too much further onto the king side, and I'm also fixing your h-pawn on a bad square because h3 isn't really a super convenient square for the pawn, and h4 is kind of a target later.
So you have to do my back and
Yeah. Yeah, that was basically what happened. Like when you played h4, I realized if I take it, I have nothing basically. So I just played g4, and now I have a protected passed pawn, and the pawn on h4 is a huge weakness. And now you don't have counterplay with the d pawn because my bishop still controls d4. Yeah, Yeah, just chase your king away and infiltrate, and there's really nothing you can do.
Just watch and see the mate coming.
Yeah, I will say one thing you could at least try here is you could try to go after my h-pawn, because it is a little bit weak on h5. Like, I think the stockfish line that's being suggested is bishop d5, bishop d8, and then maybe instead of bishop a2, you could go bishop f7, and maybe try to hang on to this.
I mean, it's a bug, but very key.
Yeah, and now that I've run it through the computer, there's actually a really interesting idea if you take the pawn on h5 that I didn't realize. I actually have the break b3, and actually one of my queenside pawns punches through.
Right. I somehow hit on the king side, you break through.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for the match today, Lucas.
Thanks for the
Yeah, I kind of apologized for a little bit of my time fiasco.
I can leave.
Yeah, it's okay. Us Americans are kind of silly with regards to our time. We just moved our clocks forward 1 hour on Saturday. I don't know if Europeans.
Yeah, we didn't do that as well.
Okay. Yeah, while I still have you on the voice call, do you have anybody that you would like me to raid?
Sure.
I think.
I'm not Kremlin, by the way. Kremlin one night. And I can choose.
Yeah, you can certainly choose that. I'll just need a second to pull her up. Yeah, yeah, it looks like she's streaming right now, so I can start that raid.
Is
Hmm. All right, sure, and just goodbye to Sequoco and everyone else in the chat. I think I'll leave the call, Lucas, and then I'll raid Anna.
that.
And goodbye to everyone from the chat. Thank you all for tuning in today.